me today on the podcast. Thanks for being here. I'm going to get straight to it, okay? I need to know what's a DJ move that you see all the time that makes you cringe? What are DJs doing that you're like, oh, no, don't do that?
Well, 1,000,000% DJs that do not mix tunes and have dead pauses between all of their songs. That is like, I can't get over the amount of DJs that just don't mix songs and just keep it flowing.
And is
And
that a lack of skill or is that a lack of experience? Is it a style? Like, what is that?
I'm going to be brutal now. It's absolute 1,000,000% laziness.
Is it? Oh my, I'm
100%.
going to look out for that now.
Yeah, honestly, if you come across a DJ that like stops a song and then starts the next song, and I still can't believe I'm saying this happens in the industry. It's not even just this industry, it's throughout. But yeah, the amount of DJs, and I know a few agents who have these sort of DJs on their books, and to the point now where they're actually saying to people, this is a non-mixing DJ. I'm like,
No way.
how is that even a term? Like, no, that person's not a DJ.
That person's pressing play.
That person is literally pressing play and probably playing the same songs at every single wedding because if they can't be bothered to mix, then they're not keeping up to date. They're not looking out for new stuff, and yeah.
Okay, now in my younger years, I was out partying in the 90s and mixing was like, that was the thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know that that went out of fashion. Because if we
Well,
were in a club, they were mixing those tunes, right? That was
yeah.
the excitement of the DJ.
I don't think it become a new thing. I just think it become easier to start being a DJ,
Ooh.
and people just wanted to make money quickly and just thought to themselves, well, hold up, I can just do this. But do you know what makes me crazy? There's just so many platforms, YouTube and everything that teaches you. There's really good people who offer you free, material to practice. And I even noticed on Spotify recently, there's now playlists that you can actually go and actually use that are in mixable order. That all you need to do is just match the beats. And they've done it in such a way to make it so easy, but there's still lots of DJs. So yeah, that is the move that makes me absolutely just want to die and hide underneath my booth whenever I hear someone say to me. I actually had it the Sunday just gone. I'd done a Christmas party for a
Yeah.
venue. And someone come home and was like, "Oh, your mixing's on point." Last Christmas party we had, no mixing. Like literally
Wow.
dead points of the night where literally it was just like, "Oh, what's happening now?" And then another song will come on, and I'm like, "Is this still happening? How can this be the
Oh my
case?"
God. Okay, I didn't know that was a thing. Now I know. I'm going to be looking for it every time there's a DJ. Mike, what don't couples understand about what you do? Because it seems super glamorous, right? You're a DJ, you play the music, people are on the dance floor, like you're the fun part of the event. What do couples not understand about what you do?
Well, I suppose the first thing is they think we just play music, and there's a lot more
Isn't
to
that
that.
it? Isn't that all you do?
Isn't it? I wish, I wish, I wish. Um, the planning that goes into someone's wedding, I always hold myself accountable in my couples and say that I'm not going to play the same music I played at the last wedding. I think it's such an easy trap to fall into and play the same music every single wedding. The reason why it's an easy trap is because you see it working well. So you in your head very easily you start thinking to yourself, "Oh my God, I'm going to play that every single wedding now because it's going to go." Well, you might get away with that for a certain amount of time, but over maybe a month or two, you're going to start seeing a decline. Even though these people are not the same people that worked at the last wedding. And so what they don't realize is that, well, I can only talk for myself here, but the pressure I put myself under to keep things fresh. Like, I really love remixes. I love mashups. I love getting head turners, I call them. I love getting a hold of head turners. It's songs that people are just not expecting to slightly change. And they go, "Ooh," and then they love it. And that's what makes them go, "Oh my God, this guy's amazing." Now, I actually haven't done anything. I just selected that particular version. But suddenly they're saying, "Oh, you're amazing." But I haven't done anything. Yeah,
Well,
that's
I
what's
think you
crazy.
are. You're reading the room, you're reading the people, you're having your standards high, right? So that you're not that person who's just turning up and pressing play.
And also, the thing which I don't think gets spoke about enough is how a good DJ, 90% of our job is reading body language. So, a bad DJ, first thing you'll notice, their head's down. They
Mm.
are concentrating on a screen or their control of the decks. Actually, the best DJs heads are up and they're literally watching body movement, because as soon as you notice that group, what were loving a particular type of music, suddenly one wants to go to the toilet, they all follow. One wants to go to the bar, they all follow. Then
Mm.
you're gonna have to think to yourself, the rest of these people, now that group have gone, how are these people going to react to these music? Because energy spreads,
Yeah.
and you will find it just spreads like wildfire around the room.
Well, it's like the first person on the dance floor, right? No one wants to be the
Absolutely.
first one, but then once someone's up, then everybody else joins them. So that catches, right?
Absolutely, and if that I always say there's always one person, okay, at a wedding, and let's call him a twat. Yeah, you need them. You need them at weddings. Yeah, they are the people what drag people on the dance floor. They're the people who create that energy. They're the people who spread the energy like wildfire.
Yeah.
I need them people on the dance floor. Okay,
Yeah.
as soon as they leave the dance floor, you can see the energy drop.
They're
Okay.
making other people feel comfortable, right? Because they're like, I don't care, I'll be here doing some spins or whatever. And then everybody else like, well, I'm not that bad, so I'll get up and dance too.
Yeah, definitely. One of the things I talk to all my couples about is I've got a little theory, very, very simple. 8 o'clock, your guests groove to the music. By 9 o'clock, they dance with one arm in the air. And then by 10 o'clock, they've got both arms in the air. That is one of the observations I've literally discovered in 14 years. It happens at every single wedding. So I always say that's how I DJ. If that's how people behave on a dance floor, then I'm going to DJ. So there's no point me playing like the biggest tune out there at 8 o'clock. You know, you let's just say you've got 50 evening guests turning up. Well, guess what? They're sober. They're playing catch up. You know, sadly, us Brits, we need lots of alcohol to dance. It fascinates me.
Especially the boys, right? I find the girls are like,
100%.
okay, we'll get on the floor. And the boys are like, no, I'm going to need another pint first.
Absolutely. And one thing I always say to all my couples is that after your first dance, I take advantage of all them feet on the dance floor. If we've got everyone to join in your first dance, that's my
Let's
little.
go.
I don't care about your first dance. What I do care about is everyone joining in. Because if everyone's joined in, everyone's feet's on the dance floor, I drop a banger straight after your first dance, we're going to get everyone dancing. However, I said I'm going to be really honest with you. The guys disappear. I get left with 90% females
Do
on the dance floor.
you?
Yeah. So at least for an hour and a half. Well, guess what? That means I have to focus on the females.
What the girls like?
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. And you know, do I want to play that music? Absolutely not. But you know what? My job is to cater for the majority of the people in the room. You know, so if the guys at the dance on at the bar and the women are on the dance floor, you know what I'm going to be playing. So yeah, just there's so much goes into it, and just someone, you know, if there's negativity on the dance floor for whatever reason, family drama, it can absolutely ruin a dance floor. And sometimes it takes a
And have
while
you
to get
seen
done.
that? Have you seen some family dynamics that have, tell me about it.
I've seen so much stuff,
Tell
Kelly.
me. No one's listening, Mike, so
No
just
one's
tell
listening.
me.
I've been told on multiple occasions I could write a book
Well, share
on
just one little
on
chapter with us.
Uh, I'm gonna I'm gonna tell you two very quick stories.
Okay,
These are
go
my
on.
two famous stories. One, this
Sitting
is
back with my coffee, I'm ready.
yeah, that's it. Grab your coffee. Right. One is from donkeys years ago, and someone shut on the dance floor. Yeah.
Stop!
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, were they just absolutely
We don't know who it was. So basically,
comatose drunk?
what basically happened was everyone was dancing. It was a great night. It was 10:30. Everyone's loving life. Next thing you know, someone pointed to the dance floor. And next thing you know, there was laughter. And then it then sort of like changed into what the hell? This is like someone's wedding. What's someone done that? And there was a guy on the dance floor and he was wearing a kilt. And everyone started blaming the guy with the kilt. And
Oh,
and
God.
I obviously I'm DJing, so I can't get involved. I'm just playing the music.
Oh,
So all I wanted to do was stick up for this poor guy because he had like there was about 6 or 7 women like literally pointing at him and laughing and saying what you done and all this. But like all these women were wearing dresses, and it
why
was just
couldn't it
like
be one of them?
exactly, and that was like I really really felt sorry for him. But then it went from that to now what? And I remember they went and got the bar staff come over, and they cracked up. They were like pissing themselves. So I sort of like was like, I grabbed the girl, the young girl, who come over because it was, she was 19 years old. Do you know what I mean? I had no idea how to deal with something like this, and I just
No.
said to her, "Look, you need to go get the manager
Yeah,
because they're going to have proper cleaning up."
sanitization. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, so they come over and They
And
end
so
up,
all this time, have people just cleared the dance floor and they're sitting
yeah.
down?
They're not sitting down, but they're all gathering around and everything. And you got, the typical, oh, it stinks and all this sort of stuff.
Oh,
Yeah. So it got cleaned up and then we got the party going again. But then the next day, the venue actually charged the couple £400 cleaning fee, which I thought was a bit naughty that the couple had to cover that because I think there's certain things a couple should be expected to pay for, like breakages and stuff like that, but for something that is totally out of their control, like, I don't know. And not being funny, I think, as well. Maybe I'm being a bit naive here, but someone might have been ill. There could have been so many reasons. And if someone's sick, they don't get charged for that. And for me, it's the same sort of thing. So anyway, that I find that quite
holy
funny.
moly, I haven't heard that one before.
Well, do you know what's funny? I actually talked about this on a podcast before.
Okay.
And someone contacted me and said, did you know there's a podcast called Who Shit on the Dance Floor? And I think they're Australian, and someone has created a podcast and they're investigating who pooed on the dance floor at their wedding. And this podcast has got like lots and lots of
Yeah,
episodes.
yeah,
And they're literally going through different people and they've changed names and everything. And it's quite funny. But I said, no, well, I'm nothing to do with that podcast.
yeah.
So that was that. And then I had another situation. This was only a few years ago where I literally had a bride and groom in the morning who didn't want to marry. And I was asked to be like the mediator.
In the morning, they didn't want to marry
Yeah.
before the ceremony. So you
Basically,
were there because we think of a DJ coming later in the evening after all the formalities.
oh yeah, we better explain that as well. So
Yeah.
I'm 90% of my weddings, I'm all there. I'm there all day as the MC, looking after all the music.
Right.
So yeah, so
You're
I
doing the announcements, you're making sure everyone's in the right place,
exactly,
right? I love
yeah.
that because then by the evening time, people already know who you are. You're not just some random guy who
Oh,
showed
it's
up to play
brilliant.
music. Love
It's
that.
brilliant. I love getting to know people throughout the day and then talking to them. But I see the transition from being really nice and turning up thinking they're like, oh, I'm, and then in the evening they're like coming up to me and being like quite drunkenly rude, let's call it, and I like to remind them at like 1 o'clock today, you were really nice, you said thank you because I held the door open for you and now you're demanding a song next. So it's always a nice conversation.
Okay, so what happened to this couple? They just
Yeah.
had an argument or
No, so basically what happened, it was a mistake, but basically the groom had gone to the registry office week before, I think it is, they have to give notice or something. He'd put down that he wanted a civil ceremony. She had gone separately to the office and put down that she wanted to get married. So when in the morning, the registrar's pointed out that, there's a difference in the paperwork. And let's just say they were not, they were quite, I wouldn't say aggressive people, but they were quite loud people.
fiery?
Yeah, so they said to me, Mike, would you mind going and talking to the bride? Because the groom is saying he does not want marriage, he wants a civil partnership. So I went and knocked on the bride's door. She said, no, tell him to go and himself. And then I went and spoke to him. He said, look, I'm not getting married to her because if I get married to her, she gets my car, she gets my motorbike and all this. And I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing? What am I doing? But anyway, then, so they end up
Like
having
writing a prenup just 5 minutes before.
yeah, they end up having this civil ceremony in the end. So they didn't get married, civil ceremony. But what had also happened is there was only about 60 guests, but on my paperwork there was meant to be 140. So I'd said to the groom, like, "Oh, there's a massive, have we got a bus coming or something?" And he said, do you know what? We actually forgot to do RSVPs. And I was like, are you joking? And I said, there's like loads of beef dinners in there and loads of Prosecco in there. Like, wow. So anyway, then we come at the end of the ceremony, went to do a group photo because I arranged a big group photo and the confetti and everything. And
Yeah.
he just walked off. So we done group photo of just a bride and then
The
confetti.
groom wasn't in the group photo.
Yeah. And then he wandered off. No
He
one
didn't
could
want to be, or
find.
you think it was like strategic, or he was just
He just walked. He did not stop walking. After the ceremony, he walked out the door with her and just kept walking. She let go of his hand. And then, so he disappeared for about an hour during the drinks reception. And then basically, a bridesmaid found him. He was asleep in one of the rooms. So she went and got the bride and was like, oh, we found him. And she took off her high heel, went storming into this room. The bridesmaid just shut the door. It was like, me and the bridesmaid were cracking up, just walking away. Next thing you know, about 15 minutes later, both walk out holding hands. So we're like, what is going on here? And then he basically refused to do a speech. And then the worst basically the worst part, the part I'm coming to, which is the worst part
Wait,
ever.
we haven't got to the worst part.
No, you haven't got to the worst part yet. So basically, I said to them, like, by this point, I'm done with this couple. I'm so
Yeah.
like,
Have you
so
even started to play music yet? Like we're not even into
no,
the
so we're
music
just about to
about
start.
it.
So I said, look, we're going to do a grand entrance now for your cake cut and your first dance. All I need you to do is do this. Once this is done, you can do what you like. Yeah. So they were like, okay, cool. So I took them in, big
I
grand
love, sorry,
entrance.
just to pause. I love how as professionals, we're always just like, we need to get this show on the
Yeah,
road.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
whether you
100%.
two stay married, even like each other is irrelevant. My job is to make sure this wedding goes well.
I've got a reputation.
Right?
You never know what can get put on TikTok. Um, So yeah, I basically said to them, look, just walk in, cut your cake, do your first dance, happy days. So anyway, grand entrance, everyone's cheering, they walk to their cake, they cut their cake, and I'm like, oh my God, they've actually done what I've told them to do. Like, this is amazing. And they're both smiling. And I sort of like, I'm over by the cake with my microphone, getting everyone to do a countdown and everything. I've done that. I then turned to go and walk towards my DJ booth. She's alongside me to my right. I'm walking. I press play. I look round. She's on the dance floor on her own. He's gone the opposite way out the fire exit. Nowhere to be seen. I've pressed play on their first dance song.
Oh,
She's then on the dance floor, bursts into tears.
oh no, too much.
Yeah, I know. And her dad comes running over,
Well
grabs her.
done, Dad. Yeah.
Dad's now dancing with her.
Mm.
Everyone's obviously kicking off. Wedding done. That was it. That was it. That was literally it. Everyone was like grabbing their coats.
They just left. Everyone was like,
Everyone
this is
just
this is
left.
too dramatic.
And the dad come over and he was like, "Thank you so much for today. Been brilliant. You know, really, you've done a great job." Blah blah blah. Not even like, I thought he was going to say, "Oh, do you know what? This has cost me a fortune." But he was like,
I
"Oh,
wonder
thanks."
if they knew. I wonder if the dad was like, I knew this was going to happen. We were ready for it. That's not the first time those two have had that sort of dynamic.
100%. And it's so like, yeah. And
Do
but
we know if they're still together?
no, I have no. I stayed clear of. I deleted the number. I stayed clear. But do you know what's funny about that? Right, is about a week before that I'd done some work for Channel Four. So I was working for Joe Lycett, and it was like a prank show they were doing,
Okay.
and I was DJing. Yeah, yeah, it was like I was DJing, and they'd done this prank and all this sort of stuff, and I was adamant. I was by about 3 o'clock. I was adamant this was a prank. I was like, there's so much has happened today that I know this is exactly what happened last week. The way it all happened in segments, there was no, it was just like so dramatic, so just happened out of the blue, but it kept happening. I was like, guys, like listen to me. At any moment, I'm expecting like a guy to jump out of the camera, Joe Lycett to be there. This is what happened last week. So everyone believed me. They were like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And then, yeah,
But no.
no
But no,
prank.
just for real. You didn't end up on Channel 4.
No, that's it. Yeah. So yeah, they're my two stories for you.
My God. Okay.
Yeah.
And I've been in the industry probably the same amount of time as you, and like I have never heard those stories before. So these are some firsts for me. What's something really cool you've said? So we've done a little bit of drama, a little bit of cringe. What's something really cool you've seen happen at a wedding that you were like, oh, that either touches my heart or that's just brilliant fun? What have you seen?
Yeah, I would say I'm going to class this on like goosebumps. And I
Yeah.
say the time that I remember getting the biggest goosebumps was last year. I was at a wedding and I had sax playing, I had bongos playing. We had the whole shabam going out. And during just setting up, doing a sound check, we had a full dance floor. And
Oh,
when I'm talking 200 people on the dance floor.
oh wow.
And I was like, literally, like, my speakers are barely plugged in. There was sax players still, like, just
Why? What
doing it.
happened?
They were just vibing. And it was, and I'd paid a content creator to come and film that night because
Okay.
the way the couple were talking to me, I always get an inkling. When you
Yeah.
get, you know,
Their
when they
people are gonna be
say
good.
certain quotes, you go,
Yeah.
"Oh." So I booked, and I said to her, look, don't come until about, 9 when it's proper going, yeah? I want you 9 till 12, and I just
Oh,
wish she was there from that moment to
it's
capture
so
that
natural.
moment, yeah, of us, you know, the bongo guy, he was still setting up his bongos and everything, and I was just playing tunes in the background, and the whole place, even the manager come out, she was like, "Wow, I've never seen this before." We had like staff members going, "Wow, this is incredible," and at the end of the night, the manager come over to me. She was like, "Oh, can I take your details? Like,
Mm.
what's your name and everything?" So I told her. She was like, "Noted." So then I thought, "Wow, it's a great opportunity, this." So I emailed them like a few days later and just said, "Look, next time you're updating your recommendation list,
Mm.
I'd love the opportunity." And then they've actually been in contact since. They've asked for some more details and everything. So yeah, it was. I wouldn't say it's like cool, but it's just
It was almost a spiritual moment where people
100%.
just naturally gravitated. That's really cool.
Yeah, definitely. And you don't come across that often. Sometimes it's sometimes quite hard work to get people going because by people are starting to fatigue, especially if they've been there all day around about seven, half seven. So to bring the energy back, and you've got to have all these tricks up your sleeve
Mm.
for it
It's
to
so
just
true.
naturally
And
happen.
when I used to help couples, obviously I don't plan anymore, but when I did, I would always be cautious about the menu they would serve because they'd want to serve a big old piece of beef and then a big old chocolate fondant. And I'd be like, do you want your people to dance? Because with that sort of menu in their tummies, they're going to be comatose at 7:30. And you must see that as well, where you're like, oh no, this is not conducive
So
to what we want.
it's one of the things what I actually plan in my couples about food. I always call it Mike versus food. And I don't know what the result's going to be. And I said I can tell you what the result's going to be when you tell me what you're serving your guests. So I said anything that when your guests are given a plate, yeah, a knife and fork, they're going to go sit down.
Mm.
You're done. We're ruining the night. And sadly, a lot of hog roasts they get given because there's salad. As soon as there's salad, you need a plate. I said, as much as it is lovely to have a hog roast, I said, you're filling your people up with, you're going to comatize them.
Yeah.
So I said, you can't beat pizzas at a wedding because people can eat while they're dancing. There's, you can't beat it, and
Mm.
no one's going to frown upon it. And to be honest, and I'm sure there's a venues watch this, they'll agree with me. Sometimes the pizzas don't need to be the best
No,
because when they're
just
being
open
served
up
at
some
half past,
alcohol.
yeah, exactly. And I've seen venues go all out with their pizzas and make the most delicious pizzas, and I think these people are not even appreciating this
No.
because their 10% goes down, and this is just soaking up the alcohol.
Yeah. I used to love, I mean, especially in London when I was doing the higher end weddings and we had a little bit more budget to play with, just serving evening canapes. So
Mm.
exactly like you're saying, so you just grab it on the way through, eat a bite, grab the next one as it comes through, but you're not having to lose anyone from the dance floor or to sit down
Love
or
a
anything.
cone, little
Home,
cone of chips and a bit
homes
of.
are perfect.
Yes, and make sure you don't forget about the DJ. You will get
Oh,
stared
come
at.
on. People are feeding you, aren't they?
You'll be surprised, honestly.
Really?
Do you know what, Kelly? Right,
Do
when I
they
asked,
forget? Do couples just forget? Because again,
yes,
when I would
100%,
plan with them,
not the
I would
couple.
say, we need to feed your suppliers. Who have you got coming? And this is what we're going to charge you to feed those suppliers. But let's make sure we feed your team, right?
So let's talk about food, right? Let's talk about supplier food. This is always an interesting subject.
Such a hot topic.
So I normally my day is normally at 12, 13 hours at a wedding. Okay, so I always ask my couples I have an app, and on the app, one of the questions is, are you feeding your suppliers? Yes or no? So they say yes. So I go along and I get given a main meal. And that's fine. And I said, all I ask is that maybe in the evening someone could bring me a slice of pizza, something just to keep me going because a lot of the other suppliers are gone by seven,
Yeah,
8.
yeah.
I'm here till 12. And to get the best out of me, yeah, and I'm not saying because I'm a pig or I love food or anything, but to get the best out of me, I need energy.
You need fuel. Yeah.
I'm standing on my feet in the same position. Now, you might think that is not exhausting. Trust me, stand in the same position. Try it. Try standing in the same position for
Yeah.
4 hours.
Yeah.
You know what it's like queuing up for a roller coaster? It's tough. Just
Mm.
stand there for hours.
Yeah.
So, to stand in the same position, so please just keep me. And I would say, out of 10, 2 out of 10. Yeah, I
What,
get.
remember to bring the food? Oh,
Yeah, yeah. Now, again, I don't blame the couple for that, and
no,
to a
they're
certain
busy.
degree, I don't blame the venue because them staff that are working in the evening haven't been there during the day. They don't know I was there
Don't
at
know.
12 o'clock.
No. They don't know if
So
they're supposed to bring you food, if that's part, like, this is
yeah,
it.
so
Communication, right?
I've had conversations with venues that I work at quite a lot and just said, look, can we just ask the question that am I included in the evening numbers? And if so, can we make some arrangements? And normally they go, absolutely, but there's lots happening in the evening. And again, I call out venues here in the evening, the quality of staff drops off. And you tend to find a lot more younger people working in the evening. They're part-timers, still going to uni,
Yeah,
that sort of stuff.
yeah.
So, do these people really care about the DJ? Absolutely not. Do they care about the relationship of the venue and the suppliers? Absolutely not. So, that can be difficult, but I'm not going to sit here and say, "Oh, you must feed me," because I take my own stuff. I take protein shakes.
Exactly.
I take that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But I just get frustrated when I know the couple have paid lots of money, and especially when a couple have paid for me to have food in the daytime, but maybe I don't get the start and the dessert that they paid for, and I've just been given a main. I've been given it last, so it's cold, or they give it to us, and then I'm being told, oh, the couple want to do speeches now, and I'm like, you've just given me my food, like. So, but again, from all of that, I learn from all of that.
Yeah.
I will never ever sit there and moan about something if I haven't tried to adapt.
Yeah.
So now it's a case of I always contact the venue before, a week before, just to say, here's my plan, and then within that plan it says the couple have agreed I'm to eat, and this is what they're telling me I should expect. Please can you ensure that this is worked around the speeches. So when they do
Mm.
give it to me, and then I'm being told they're ready for speeches, I can say, guys, I did tell you, I'm no longer like guessing, and you guys don't have to guess because I've actually told you, that this is what
Do you
this.
see a difference between, let's say, a higher quality venue that's maybe dealing with bigger budgets and more suppliers? Because, again, if I think back to my time when I was on property, that would be part of my running order. So the kitchen knew when I was serving suppliers, I'd have a small room set aside. But then maybe because I was always dealing with a bigger team of suppliers, it was more on our radar. Do you see a
Yeah.
difference? Like a higher
Um,
quality venue, more spend, does it better?
no, the time when I see the biggest problem is external catering. External catering is a massive red flag for me, and I
Okay.
have to be fully equipped with lots of food with me
Yeah.
because it's very likely I'm probably not going to get fed. Um, and a challenge that I come across quite often, and I don't know why it's like this in the UK. I can never get my head around this. Wedding planners. There's not
Come
enough.
on, spill the beans.
Yeah, there's not enough wedding planners in the UK to what there should be. I don't mean the amount, but the amount of wedding planners that actually do the weddings. You go to the US, you go to
Oh,
France,
everybody's got a planner. Yeah.
everyone's got a planner, and
Yeah.
it makes so much sense.
Yeah.
In the UK, I don't know why. It's just ended up. So for me to have that middle person that can help with situations like food and that sort of stuff uh, is, but going back when I first started, like 14, 15 years ago, I would say like back then, I was given drinks constantly, I was given food constantly. It has faded off, but it's because of cost.
Yeah.
You know,
Profit
I,
margins. I think, there was a time when, especially in hotels, right, where weddings were almost a side gig at the weekend, right?
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
midweek, they did bedrooms, they did restaurant, they did conference, and it was like, oh, wedding at the weekend. Oh, sure, that'll fill an empty room.
Mm.
And it was a different kettle of fish. Whereas now, obviously, it's a huge part of the marketing and the revenue and the cost and the margins and da da da. And I wonder if that's kind of changed the dynamic of what we've got happening.
I'm going to give you a really good example. It's just come into
Yeah.
my head. So
Yeah.
recently, I've done a wedding in November. I was at a venue, unbelievable venue, very, very nice. We was meant to get 3 courses.
Mm.
That was what we was told. I was sitting there with a videographer, a photographer, and myself. So there was three of us sitting around the table. We'd had our start, we've had our mains, and the groom kept making this big deal about this sticky toffee pudding. He
Yeah.
was like, "Guys, we've got sticky toffee pudding. The chef what's here. He's won loads of awards about this sticky toffee pudding." Well, it just so happens that my favourite pudding is sticky toffee pudding. So me and the groom had this conversation, and we was talking about how he puts all the salt on top, and then he burns it, and all this sort of stuff is amazing.
Very cool.
When it comes to our desserts, there's no sticky toffee pudding. So, and I was like, "Oh, this is a bit weird." Well, I'm never gonna stand up and go, "Where's my
No,
pudding?"
of course.
No one would do that.
Yeah.
The most bizarre thing happened. The chef come out of the kitchen, walked up some stairs to where I was sitting with a cheesecake, a slice of cheesecake, put it in front of me, and then walked off. So not only was it a dessert what no one else had, and we could see all the people eating. He then didn't give the same thing to the photographer and the videographer, and just
Huh.
walked off. Now, the worst part about this was the groom come up to see if I'd enjoyed
No.
the sticky toffee pudding,
And what did you say?
and I sort of like looked down and was like, I was given cheesecake.
Ah!
He went, "Are you joking?" And then the photographer and the videographer are absolutely cracking up.
I bet.
He then notices they've got nothing, and he was like, "Do you know how much this has cost for us to do the supplier meals?
Yeah,
We
yeah,
actually,
because they're properly paid. It's
yeah."
not like a few quid.
He said we upgraded because you was only meant to get main, so we chose to
Oh,
upgrade. And he said, "Leave it with me." But of course, we were like, "Don't worry about it.
no,
Honestly,
yeah,
don't
yeah,
worry
yeah,
about
yeah.
it."
This is not the
Yeah,
focus.
we're doing speeches in a moment.
Yeah.
Just go get yourself in the right, frame of
Mm.
mind for speeches, relax, chill. But it just so happened to be the same wedding that they hired a coffee van to come and serve. So as he was walking down the stairs, he went, "Boys, listen." He said, "I expect you to be the first outside when the coffee turns up because he's got
Oh,
coffee and cakes. Please, please be the first person." We was like,
oh,
"Yes, mate. Yeah, we'll be
what a
the
nice
first." Don't you
guy.
worry. Oh, mate, it was the best coffee ever as well. So.
What a nice guy, though, to actually care and make that level of effort, right? I love that. I was going to ask you, like, what do you wish venues would do differently? So, apart from the food we've mentioned, is there something else that you wish they would do differently that would make it easier for you or smoother for the couples?
Briefing in the morning with me.
Mm.
When I turn up to a venue that I've either not been at before or I've only been a few times, I find it really hard to break the ice with venues straight away because they're so busy and that when I turn up, there's lots going on. And I think it's so much more valuable for them just to go, "I'm going to go take 10 minutes with Mike,
Yeah.
go and sit down, go work for everything." Because a week before, I've sent them my plan. I've sent them everything I'm doing. I've literally laid it all out and said, "Look, you've got a week to come back to me and let me know if any changes or if anything is you weren't aware of. Can I explain anything?" I would say 10% of people get back to me. Okay, which is fine. I'm just covering my back and
Yeah.
I'm
Doing the
CCing
best.
couples. Couples love it. Yeah, they absolutely
Yeah.
love the fact that and I contact photographers. Everyone gets CC'd into this
Yeah,
email.
so you're practically doing a coordinator role at this point, right?
Yeah, and it's not on purpose. That I'm not doing
But
it on
if you're
purpose.
emceeing the whole day,
Yeah,
makes sense.
it makes sense that I have control over moving people from
Definitely.
one place to the next because it makes my job easier. So yeah, if I could just have a bit more time with the venue before everything kicks off, then I think that would make a huge difference to not the whole day, but just the initial start
Yeah.
because I don't know some of these people. They change staff so much at
No.
venues. I just want to be able to go, "Ah, Sarah, whoever, let's go." Do you know what I mean? And rather than going like, who's boss today? Who do
Yeah.
I speak to? It's so awkward, and
And
then you
have
get
you ever
looked at.
worked? God.
I say you get like a strange look when you say like, "I'm the DJ." Why are you here this early? I'm
Right.
not.
Yeah. And I get that because I
Yeah,
would think the same, unless, oh, right, and the MC for the day or the
yeah,
Toastmaster or whatever we call it. But has there ever been a coordinator that's kind of driven you mad? Obviously, we don't need to name names.
yeah. Oh, I could name names right now. I'm not
No,
gonna.
no, we're not dropping real people names. We're not doing that. But what have they done that's driven you mad?
Oh, just the ones. It's power. I don't know what it is. Like Jesus Christ, take advantage of me. Hit me with your whip. I don't care. I'm here to just make it easier. Don't. I don't know if they get offended that the couple have asked me to do this role,
Yeah.
but there's a few. I would say I could probably name five right now. I'm not gonna. I could name five that I just, as soon as I see their name come up, I go, what am I going to do different this time just to break the ice? Because these people just, it takes them so long to realize that I'm there to make their job easier.
Yeah.
And they sort of like forget the couple have chosen this. This is not the only service I offer. This is a bigger package that the couple have gone for. And I am always shocked about how venues use mobile phones, Spotify to play the ceremony music when I'm not there.
Yeah.
And when I play a song for a bride walking down the aisle, There's cue points. I know exactly when the next bridemaid's going to go. I will know how long it takes to walk down an aisle. I know venues, and I can tell you exactly how long it takes to walk down an aisle at a certain venue. So I know the cue points for all this sort of stuff, and it's all about your next, next, and it's
Yes,
all about communication with the bridal party. Except most of them have never done this before,
of course.
and when I'm not there, they've got a young young member of staff who's got a Spotify on their phone, and they've just pressed play, and then it's up to the.
But then, do we not also say that the couple have chosen not to invest in having
But they
a
don't know.
musician or a DJ to do that?
Yeah, but they don't know. The venue is never going to be open and say, "Oh yeah, to do the most important song of the day, we're going to be using Spotify on a mobile phone that's got a cracked screen, that's got a really bad battery. Yeah, that's the lead for the charger is so short that the member of staff's holding it up the whole time. It drives me. I just
But
yeah.
I will push back on that from venues, right? Because I'm a
Okay,
venue girl
yeah,
at
yeah,
heart.
absolutely, yeah.
Because I've had couples who have said, "Oh no, it's fine. Can we just do it from like a playlist on my phone and someone can just press play?" Like they say that.
Mm.
And so then the venues are like stuck going, well, okay, we can just have someone press play, but it's not their fault. They don't have the knowledge you have, and they don't have like the understanding of the music and the timings and da da da. And then it's on the venue, but actually the couple have chosen not to pay a musician or a DJ or someone to do that.
I'm gonna let you into a little secret
Go
here and
on.
let everyone listening. So the number one thing that actually I think converts a lot of my couples to have me all day, especially when it
Mhm.
comes to ceremony music, is actually me explaining a little thing I do. I do a thing called the Bride is Ready song. I always say to the groom, look, you've got two choices. You can stand at the end of the aisle for 20 minutes with everyone staring at you, or you can choose a song and I'll play that song when I know the bride's 5 minutes from coming. That way, all you've got to do is listen out for that song, and
Mm.
that's your little cue between me and you. No one else knows about this. To go walk to the end of the aisle, and you should be here within 5 minutes. And they always go, "I need that."
Yeah, because it's awful for the guys sometimes when they're stood there for like 20 minutes and they're shuffling about and they're trying to look like they're having a good time, but it's awkward, right?
100% awkward. And I can tell you now as well, I'm actually building. I'm writing an email at the moment, and it's basically the email is to the groom, not to the bride, and it's I come across useless groomsmen and useless dads. Okay, and 99% of it just comes down to knowledge and them not doing the research beforehand. I will guarantee you that at more than 60-70% of my weddings, the dad will ask me, what side do I stand on?
Yeah.
Or I'll have a best man come up to me and say, do I stay standing with the groom or do I sit down with everyone else?
They just don't know.
Yeah. Or I will have the groom sometimes says to me, what side do I stand on when I walk, through, the confetti? So all these little things that
Mm.
no one is telling the groomsman and the groom and the dad and everything, I think it just needs a little nudge
Yeah.
just to go because I went to a venue once and I witnessed the coordinator doing a briefing with the groom and the groomsman. And it was the most unreal thing I've ever. She literally was like, right, this is what you're going to do. You're going to look after this side. You're going to look after this side. See these reserve signs? They're reserve signs. No one sits there apart from these people on this list. Right, you're going to do this. You're going to follow me. You're going to
That's
stand.
my kind of venue, girl. I love that.
That's so. So I then went to like a couple of venues after that, and I was like, "Oh my God, I saw the most amazing thing the other day." And no one, it was just like another job on the list. They were like, "Nah, we don't need to do that. It's fine. They sort it out themselves." And all this. I'm like, but these people have never done it before. Stop. It's so easy to get into that little mindset because we do it all the time.
Yeah.
That these people in front of us do it all the time. We totally forget that these people haven't slept for a week.
Right.
We totally forget that there's been politics in the background that's been happening regarding people's opinions and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, we are just rocking up and doing the same thing that we do all the time, and we've become so good at it that we don't
Yeah.
have to think about it. But
Yeah.
that does not mean other people are thinking like that. And yeah, I think there could be a lot more work done for just that pre-ceremony part.
Mm.
Just who needs to do what, why, and when.
I love that. I hear your passion. I hear your love for the job, but there must have been a moment where you've like maybe been driving home from a wedding and you're like, what the hell have I done with my life choices here? Like, why am I doing this? Have you had that moment?
Yeah, loads of times. Look, I'm never going to say every single wedding I do is the best wedding ever. Everyone dances all night. There's been weddings where no one's danced. Yeah, I would say I could definitely in my head right now picture probably three weddings where I've never had a single person on a dance floor.
Oh, but how does that feel for you?
It used to absolutely kill me. Now I now do reverse psychology. I now make the people look stupid.
Oh.
So I like to make people. I'd rather them feel stupid than me feel stupid. And I think what you have to do is you have to then start. Like, I'll give an example. Very, very, very quick story. So I was at a wedding, no one was dancing, and I got to a point where I was like, you know what? I'm going to play the biggest bangers ever. Like, literally, I'm going to absolutely throw everything at them to prove a point. And inside, I'm feeling really smug because I don't want anyone to dance now. Yeah? Because I have made you guys look stupid. However, what I'm not doing in my head is thinking there's a reason for this. And the three weddings I've got in all had reasons why. So that
Right.
particular wedding, this woman come up to me is the craziest thing that could ever happen to me in that situation. This woman come up to me, she's like, "Can I have a business card?" And I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Like the dance floor's empty. Why do you want my number?
And I was like, "You kidding me?" She went, "No." She went, "Honestly, can I have your business card?" She goes, "I'm getting married next year, but we're having two weddings, and I only need someone to DJ both weddings." I was like, "Pick me up off the floor. This ain't happening." I said, "You're pranking me. There's no way. There's no way you would approach me based." And she went, "You don't know, do you?" And I went, "Oh, obviously there's something's gone on." She was like, "Oh, basically there's like two sets of families here, and they got when they got married in Mauritius, didn't tell no one. Have come back and basically told everyone it was a birthday party, and everyone's turned up."
Oh,
She said to find out that they'd gone away and got married, but she said basically they'd both of the people that got married had cheated. On
oh,
and the family there was like massive like issues, and she said like
but
no
people
one
were
wants
not celebrating. They were
yeah,
not wanting
no
to
one wants to
celebrate.
be here. Everyone wanted to go, and she said, like, uh, so I went and met her like a couple of weeks later about her wedding, and she told me everything. She was like, she said, "I work with the bride," and she said, "So I can tell you everything you need to know about that whole situation." She said, "It's a mess. What made them think, and it was at the Noak Hotel in up by St Albans area, and it's a massive marquee, and it was massive, and there was 200 people there.
Wow. Wow.
But
And
when
no
I
one
think
danced.
back, yeah, when I think back, it was lots of people just sitting around tables talking, and I really believe all them conversations were like, what the hell? Like honestly, that my dad cheated on my mum for this woman,
Oh,
you know, and they've gone off and got married without telling us. That's the sort of conversations that have gone on. So yeah, they're the ones where I walk away and I go, you know what? Or there's been situations where either I've been harmed or I've been upset or I've been when people have crossed the line.
mm,
So obviously I have to deal with a lot of drunk people. So
yeah. A lot.
there's situations where it's it's disturbing is probably the wrong word, but I've definitely come away going,
It's not worth it.
yeah, why did that happen? Why am I now in a situation where I'm now doubting myself when I've got all these weddings behind me, I've got all these Google reviews, I've got all this stuff. One person has made me doubt myself. And I just think to myself, do I want to do this?
Yeah.
But then, a couple of days later, go to another wedding, couple loves me, crowd loves me, everyone's cheering at the end, and totally changes your mindset back
And I
to,
think a lot of wedding pros can resonate with what you just said. I'm sure we've all had that one person make a complaint or not be happy about something, and it makes you doubt the 100 weddings that were perfect and everybody loved everything you did. And I think that's where couples misunderstand how personally we take the work, right?
yeah, yeah. But you know what? Like 99% of it is not normally nothing to do with a couple. It's just
No.
some guest who's just either entitled or had too much, crossed the line, whatever they decide to suddenly want to either fight me or abuse me or whatever it is, yeah, you just get to a point you just like, what can I have done different? There's nothing I could have done different because the couple have apologized sincerely. They've, you know, yeah, you have to move on very, very quickly. I actually had something happen last week to me. Someone snapped my speaker, like
Oh,
£1,500 speaker. Yeah, someone rugby tackled the speaker.
oh my
And,
God.
yeah, yeah. But luckily, thank God, the venue replaced it straight away. Sent me a new one to my house, and it's times like that, and I just think, thank God it's like January because if I had a wedding the next
Next
day
day. Yeah,
I'll be gutted.
yeah.
I'll be absolutely gutted. Yeah, I have a backup, but the backups are never as good as what you use. Because backups are generally the stuff that you've replaced. That's the way it works.
And Mike, if you weren't a DJ, what would you be doing?
Oh God. Well, I love sales. The part of this job I love the most is selling. I love sales. I get a real buzz out of sales. I love my Zoom calls with couples. So I think sales would be really good, but education, I love teaching people. I've got groups that I run to get, people try and get people in line with the way I picture the industry and always looking to the future and always trying to, I hate the word future proof, but trying to be as future proof as possible. So I love the educational side of it. I love speaking. I've done a few speaking roles. So yeah, I think if I wasn't a DJ, I think I would definitely be in tech. I do love tech. I am a massive AI geek. Always got to get the latest tech. And so yeah, sales, tech,
Sort of tech sales
educator.
guy. I love that. And what would your closest friends say about you? How would they describe you?
I would say they probably grafter. I don't stop. Honestly, I don't stop. People find it really strange that I don't watch films, I don't watch TV, very rarely watch Netflix. Always, always grafting. What do they say? Yeah, tons and tons of energy. I get quite obsessive, so I zone in on things and I have to do it. But I think most people run businesses are like that. I'm very supportive, very gullible as well. I'm a sucker. I get that from my mum.
Wow, that surprises me.
Yeah, I can get sucked into things without realizing that it's a load of nonsense.
Oh
So
wow.
I've got to be careful at times, especially on YouTube when you come across someone talking and you buy into what they're saying. Um, I'm definitely an opportunist. I'm that person walking down the street looking for the £5 notes. Yeah, I'm literally always looking for the next opportunity, the next thing to learn. I hated school. I absolutely hate. I had the worst experience at school.
Okay.
But my life was like flipped because now I just can't stop learning.
Mm.
Mental, innit? It's honestly, it's weird how the brain works.
But
Yeah,
I do think that the whole setup of school isn't for everyone, right? Because I
yeah,
definitely enjoy learning now more than I enjoyed learning at school. I did all right, but I definitely enjoy it better in the way that I learn. And I don't think many of us are that kind of cookie cutter way. Do you?
yeah. Oh, definitely not. Because do you know what changed my life? YouTube, Audible, Spotify, anything that involved not reading. I've even recently downloaded a new app called Speechify, and it literally just reads PDFs to you, and
Oh,
it's a massive game changer for me. Honestly, I've gone from ignoring PDFs and ignoring, there's certain books that I really want to read, but there's not an
but they're not
Audible
an audio.
version. So I can buy the Kindle version or the PDF version. I can just get Speechify to just read it to me.
Oh,
And
that's a lovely life hack.
yeah, and there's loads of different celebrities on there. So you can have like all these different celebrities reading this book to you. And I'm
Oh,
like, brilliant.
have they got Matthew? Is it McConaughey? Is that he's got that brilliant voice? I'm gonna definitely go and get that app if they've got him.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of celebrities on there, but yeah, it's really, really good. And so that for me, that's like been my biggest game changer. Like honestly, if you ever anyone comes into my house, I can guarantee you there's going to be two things on TV. It's either going to be a DJ set because I have to have music on there in the background, or there's going to be some kind of educational thing on the TV.
Love it. And what
That's
new projects are you working on? What things are coming up for you in the future?
lots of AI stuff. So I'm really, really into my AI, and I've been helping you out on
You
your group.
have indeed. You've been helping
Yeah,
our members to
yeah,
use
that's it.
AI much better.
Yeah, 100%. And that's something I'm very passionate about is implementing AI into small business because I think we're very solo. And I think one thing I missed from being employed was always having that person to give you a second opinion. And I used to say that for years. I used to say, "Oh, I really miss not having an area manager." And because the area manager would be the first person to say to me, "Mike, that is rubbish. Move on." Like, the rubbish.
Sense
And
check.
yeah, and when AI come along, I was like, wow, I want this, I need this. So that's really, really passionate of mine. I've got a couple of events coming up. I've got my first live event, which is in February 20th, called Level Up Live. So we've got 50
And is
DJs.
that's just for DJs?
Yeah, just for
And
DJs.
where is it? Where is it happening?
Yeah, it's over in Hemel, at the Harman Centre. So do you know JBL speakers? It's basically their head. Yeah, yeah. JBL speakers. They're basically it's their headquarters, and so they've given us their demo area. So it's a pretty cool place. So they've given us our demo area. So
And
we've got
what's the point of that event? Like, why are you gathering these DJs together?
between the three of us. So I've got two business partners. We believe that there's lots of DJs out there that are great DJs but not very good at business.
Yeah, definitely.
And we all share the passion of just like, if they pay to come along, they're paying for our knowledge, and if they're paying, then we're going to share as much as we can with them. And simple as that, really. They're just going to get to learn all about, how to use social media, how to use AI, how to sell on Zoom, which is my little niche. And then they get to go away with, AI notes. Obviously, as I love AI, there's lots of AI involved. So yeah, we're going to be providing with like a little AI bot that will give them all the notes and answer all the questions based on the day. And then we're all going for a meal in the evening. And yeah, we got speakers and all that sort of stuff. But we were just keeping it very DJ related because I think we felt like there was a lot of conferences out there that was very open and you can understand why there's bigger opportunities. But by just niching it down a little bit and just keeping it at max at 50, then we can literally just focus on playlists and all that DJ geeky stuff.
That sounds fantastic. We'll drop the link to that in the show notes as well. Okay, quick fire to close up. So just cut whatever comes into your head, okay?
Go for it.
New DJs need to know
New DJs need to know about all the latest remixes of all the older songs.
two songs that should be banned.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, two songs that should be banned. There's so many I can think of. I want to choose ones that's going to upset people. So what shall I choose? I'm going to go with. Um, I've bringing up my playlist now. There is one song, and I never play it because I hate it. Is um, I'm keeping you on tenterhooks here, aren't I?
I mean, I just know it's going to be a song I love, so I'm ready to be shamed.
You ready? And I
Yeah,
got a lot of hate for this on
go on.
Instagram. Africa Toto.
Oh, I like that one. Why can't we play that one?
I absolutely can't stand it. I can't stand it. And what's funny, on New
Is
Year's
it
Eve,
just the beat? Is it just the style of it?
yeah, on New Year's Eve wedding, that is their first dance. So the whole planning process, I was just taking a mick out of them the whole time that they picked the worst song ever. Well, obviously,
Okay, second song we got a ban.
I would say, it's got to be one of the crappy ones like the Macarena, all that. Yeah, cheap
But
crap.
those ones help people get on the dance floor.
No, they don't. They need to be banned, thrown in the bin, deleted. We're
Okay,
gone.
wedding trend that we're over.
Wedding trend that we are over is light up letters.
Okay, interesting. The best way you relax after an event.
Listening to a podcast on the way home.
Oh, nice. And finally, your drink of choice.
My drink of choice would be, at the moment, I would say something like vodka and orange, but normally it'd be beer. But I'm trying to stay off the beer.
And Mike, what should I have asked you during this conversation that I didn't ask you?
Um, I would say I'm going to go with what should you have asked me? You should have asked me what I love about Kelly Mortimer.
Oh, let's go with that. Let's end on some stuff about me. Let's go with
The
that.
listeners are going to be like, look at him, like, he's just so cringeworthy.
Now they can see
That's
why
the
you sell
first.
so well. Okay, let's
Yeah.
do that question. Let's
All
go.
right. I'm going to look, I'm going to be very transparent now. I have spent many years really struggling to align myself with an educator in the wedding industry because I very arrogantly, I always used to listen and think to myself, I only know this. Or I'd go, this seems a bit outdated, or whatever it was, or there'd be people coming and speaking that couldn't back up their opinions and their facts. And I always used to think to myself, they've come up with this concept, they're telling everyone it, they're convincing everyone, but they've got nothing to back it up with.
We haven't tried it. Yeah.
Yeah. So then when I joined your group, first of all, TNL, I was totally blown away by all your videos. I then asked you to do me some mentoring. And then I'm sure you won't mind me saying this, but on our last mentoring session, I actually said, I don't want mentoring today. I want to know more about you. So I got what was it, 45 minutes, I think it was, to ask you loads of questions. And we dug deep into your past and all that sort of stuff, which was really fascinating for me because I love asking questions. So I love learning. So that was a really eye-opener for me. And then we decided to collaborate with the IR stuff recently, which is really exciting. So, I don't know if the people listening are already part of TNL and all that sort of stuff, but honestly, like you against lots of the other wedding industry experts, you are just so miles ahead. And I know I've told you this before, you call yourself the UK number one. I will still say that you are, for me, definitely the best in the world that I've come across. I think that little catchphrase needs to change from
We
world's
need a
number
new
one.
title.
You do, 100%. So,
Mike, thank you so much. And I'm feeling chuffed that we're ending our conversation on that note. Thanks so much for joining me. Where should people find you? Where do you want them to follow you and get more information from you?
yeah, sure. Well, Instagram is obviously the most common way, which is DJ underscore Mike underscore Reddins. Got a website, which is just djmikereddins.com. And did I just say .com? It's not .com, it's .co.uk. Why did I say that?
Perfect. We'll put all the
Anyway,
links
all
in the
good.
show notes
Yeah,
for
that's
people
it.
to follow you. Amazing. Thank you.